So my question to you is manipulation related to persuasion?
It is related. And it's funny, I was doing a training yesterday and I got the question about when we were talking about the use of emotion, the question was, well, isn't this just manipulating your audience? And I said, here's the way I think about it, the difference between persuasion and manipulation. Persuasion is about getting the audience to do something that is good for them, that is in their interest, or that is in the general interest of society, for example, something positive. And there can be also a benefit for the speaker. There's nothing wrong with a mutual benefit situation, a win-win situation. I think manipulation, I think of that as you're trying to get the audience to do something that is either against their interests or that is a bad thing to do. I mean, politicians, unfortunately, they manipulate people all the time. Not all politicians. Politicians also persuade. But that's an example where you can see manipulation. So there's clear overlap because with both persuasion and manipulation, you're trying to get other people to do something. The question is, what's the end result? What's the benefit or the detriment that occurs? That's how I think about it.
Okay. So then intention plays a major role.
In my opinion, a huge role. Huge.
What is the intention?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you need to be able to influence others and learn these techniques in order for you to also uncover or spot when somebody is trying to manipulate you?
I think it definitely makes you more aware when you're in the opposite situation, when somebody's trying to influence you. I think a lot of people have an instinct for it. Did you ever read what was it, Malcolm Gladwell's book Blink? This idea about how first impressions are often the correct ones. Like there's something that it just doesn't feel right in a case like that. I think a lot of people have that sense. But if you study rhetoric and persuasion, and then you can also get into this whole field of, cognitive biases and things like that, then it's easier to spot.
So basically our gut feeling plays a major role as well.
I think so. I think so.
That's very interesting. I like that, the whole idea about intention. So becoming a good speaker, learning the art of influencing others, it's what you do with it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, businesses who have to sell a product or a service, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if they don't sell their products or services, they're not going to be in business for very long. The question is, are their products good quality products? Have they been sourced in a sustainable way? Are they respecting labor laws? That kind of thing.
And you can have the best idea, the best product, but if you don't know how to tell people about it, how to sell it, how to persuade others, it's not going to happen.
No, the inferior product may well win because they've got a better pitch, they've got a better story to tell.
If we try to understand the basic of persuasion, where does it begin? Is it a mindset? Is it a skill? Is it deeper than that?
I think it's a couple of things. I think belief plays a big role in it. First, belief in yourself, belief in the idea that you are selling as well. Many times people will say to me, how do I give a presentation about an idea I don't believe in? And I'm always honest with them. I say, it's not easy. It's not easy. Beyond that, then we get into the different techniques of persuasion, and we go back 2,300 years to ancient Greece and, Aristotle and rhetoric and the whole basis of persuasion, logos, ethos, and pathos. And for people who don't know what these things are, even if you've never heard these terms, you know instinctively what they are. Logos essentially is persuasion by logic. It's things like the coherence of your presentation, facts, statistics, data, very left brain thinking. I'm a lawyer by training, so I'm very logos oriented. Everything has to be very structured and clear for me. The second pillar, ethos, is persuasion by virtue of the speaker's personal credibility. Things like the person's reputation, authority, expertise, that kind of thing, that can help influence. Also, part of ethos, I mean, these things I mentioned, reputation, authority, expertise, you build these up by living your life, by going through your career. And if you're junior in your career, there's a chance that you're not going to have as much reputation or authority as somebody more senior. And that's just life. You build it up over time. But you can also have an influence on your own ethos as seen by the audience by your stage presence. Are you looking at people? Are you pausing? Are you doing all of these nice gestures on stage and not, you're not looking down, you're not staring at the slides? That makes a difference as well. So there's logos, ethos, and then the third pillar is pathos. Interesting word, comes from the Greek word related to both emotion and suffering. And so we get words today in English and other languages like sympathy, empathy, pathology, pathogen. All of these relate to pathos, which is persuasion by emotion, storytelling, humor, surprise, that kind of thing. So those are the three main pillars. There's a fourth pillar, though, which I think is important and it's less well known. It's called kairos. Kairos is an interesting word. The Greeks have two words for the concept of time. There's chronos, and we get words like chronology or chronological from chronos, which is the time we're most familiar with. The time of, the day, the hours going by in a day or the months going by in a year. But then there's the second concept of time, kairos, which means the appropriate time, the right time to make an argument, the right time to sell an idea, and also the right time to use emotion, the right time to use facts and logic. So all of this plays a role in persuasion.
That's very interesting. So timing is also important.
Sure. You often see, an event might happen. Let's say there's, a severe drought or flooding or an unexpected weather event, and people who are very concerned about global warming and climate change, they might think, well, in light of what has just happened, now is a good time once again to remind people about the importance of taking certain steps to help reduce the impact of global warming.
This is very interesting. And do you need all four to be influential, or can you get away with one or two?
No, I think you need them all. I mean, obviously, kairos underpins everything. You want to bring the right argument forth at the right time. Then you've got the other three pillars, the logic, the credibility, and the emotion. And the way I like to think of those three is as follows. I want my credibility in the eyes of the audience to be as high as possible. I want them to think he knows what he's talking about. He's really thinking about what might be valuable to me, and he's going to give me some value for my time. I want it to be as high as possible. The logic, the logos, and the pathos, the emotion, these are more variable. You want, depending on who the audience is, what you're talking about, what the situation is, you're going to want to use more of one and less of the other. In the typical business presentation, you are almost always going to have more logic, more logos than pathos. And that's fine, but don't leave the emotion out altogether. Because, people should be excited. If you're selling a new product or service, there should be some level of emotion there. You can tap into emotion. It's like a recipe. You want to have the ingredients in the right amounts, and that's what really makes the best impact.